So from old link we cannot join.
Yes. Any specific reason for the delay in today's session? Because I've been waiting for the past 15 minutes.
Sorry, you have not shared the link for today's class.
No, the link is the same. Every day the link will remain
From
the same.
that-
Yeah.
From that link we cannot able to join the class. That's the reason.
Is it?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
You are not able to join.
Okay. Not a problem at all. But you could have just pinged me in the WhatsApp group if there was any sort of a confusion. But nonetheless, if there is any sort of a confusion, you can always use the WhatsApp group and you can tell me. We'll try to resolve that situation, because in the context of the online class, I cannot see the perspective from your end. You have to inform me in case of any sort of a confusion or any sort of a situation. You have to let me know that this is a problem that we're facing, then we can try to fix it up by an alternate mechanism. Okay? So in future, if you were not able to join, please let me know. I will try to resolve the issue so that we can not have a problem in the class. Okay? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you're audible. Yes, sir.
Okay, perfectly fine. I thought there's a problem with the network today or something of that sort that we're not able to connect. Are you able to see the PowerPoint slide?
Slides.
that I
Yes, sir.
presented?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So if you recall, yesterday we looked into the different dimensions of the environment per se, which exactly is operating in the marketing ecosystem, where they are the different components of environment which exactly come into play. And you have already seen the natural environment, the socio-cultural environment, the components that is the economic environment. Also, you have visited the technological and the environment, as well as the towards forecasting and the demand measurement. So on the basis of these, we decide to incorporate the different aspects for deciding what exactly is going to be the marketing demand measurement. That is, what would be the potential market out of the total potential market, how much of it is the available market which is there for our products and services, and then from the available market, what has to be the target market on the basis of which we would be qualifying to actually access that market. And then penetrated market happens to be the set of customers who are actually buying, or the consumers who are buying the goods and services. Now, there are 90 types of demand marketing. Now, this 90 times is like a cube, with a 3-dimension. That is, it has length, breadth, and depth. So, if you're looking at the length, you have got exactly things like the time level. That is, in the short run, what exactly is going to happen? In the medium run, and in the long run, what is going to be the demand? Of course, we are also going to be looking at the product line. Like, the product line would mean that what exactly is the sales. Sales are going to be in the context that is it, what exactly would be the product line item sale, that is, what are the items that we are going to be selling. Then what group of items would consist of a product form, and then these product forms would be clubbed together to make a product line. Like, for example, fast moving consumer goods, FMCG, or let's say white goods. Within white goods, you'd have refrigerators as separate, washing machines as separate, dish cleaners as separate. So within white goods, you have the different type of product form, and within the product form, you would have the product item. That is, different categories of refrigerators. Let's say, for example, we've got frost-free refrigerator, or refrigerators categorized in different sizes. So that would be the product item sale. So what would be the product item sale at the bottom? Coming down to the next, what is the group of products which would be classified as the form sales? Then classification of all the groups together in the context of the product line sale. Then total company sales. Let's say, for example, there's a company called LG. Now, LG is the total, all the products which are manufactured by LG, what exactly are going to be their sales. That exactly would be called as the company sales. Then all the aspects, all the companies which exactly are there in the context of LG, type of companies which are there, which exactly are competitors of LG or within the same category, in the same, it would be called as the industry sales. Let's say, for example, FMCG product sales or consumer durable sales, or things like a white goods sales. So that would be the industry sales, and then the total sales of the entire market.
So effectively, this is called as the product level. So one dimension is short run, medium run, and long run, and the second is on the context of the product levels. And then we have got the third dimension, which is the depth,
which is called width, length, breadth, and the depth. Depth is talking about the space level.
Now, space level would mean in which in which space domain or which location domain. Is it going to be only based on the customer, or is it going to be only based on the territory?
That is national. What exactly is the different parts of the country in the context of different regions, or is it going to be outside, that is in a specific country or in the entire global sales, East Asian or West Asian, or the different parts of the world, where exactly what exactly are going to be the sales, and how exactly is it going to be the entire world sales.
So this is how the different type of demands are actually calculated. So if you take up any one of the boxes, let's say, for example, you take company sales, and then you take medium run, and then you take
a world sales. So you will get one specific domain of demand. Similarly, this specific demand is going to be different from a short run company sales, and let's say, for example, in a place like the northern territory of India. So again, this is going to be a separate level of demand. So in the context of this, we define the different type of demands which exactly are there. So we basically would be looking at the marketing demand, and this basically marketing demand is all about how much is the company potential, what is the forecast, what is the demand, what is the market potential, and what is the market forecast. So we start with the forecast. What is the market forecast, and how much is the potential which exactly is there? After the potential we have calculated, we look into the company demand, that is how much is the company demand is there, then the company sales forecast, and this company sales potential. But then how do we do all these sort of an analysis? And on the basis of this analysis, we come up with something like the current demand. What is the industry sales and what is the market sales? But how do we get all these figures? We try to estimate these demands on the basis of certain type of reaction that we get, and this reaction comes from marketing research. So very quickly, we're going to be looking at what exactly is marketing research all about. So what exactly is marketing research per se? If you look into the standard definition of marketing research, I have just changed the slide. Just I would like to have a voice confirmation if you can see the slides, if it is visible.
Yes, sir. It's
Yes,
visible.
sir.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay.
sir.
So
Yes, sir.
if you must have heard about things like marketing research.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much for the voice confirmation. Now I would like any of you who has their voice microphone unmuted, please mute it. This is for the interest of everyone. in case any of you have your microphone unmuted, please.
So your mic is muted.
Sir, your mic is mute.
Sorry for that. I'm really sorry. I'll just repeat. In the context of the scope of marketing research, the definition as given by the American Marketing Association is that marketing research happens to be a function. Now, this function basically links the consumers or the customers or the public to at one end to the marketeer at the other end, and this linking happens to be through something called as information. Now, information is used to identify, define the marketing opportunity and problems. It is also used to generate, refine, and evaluate the marketing actions. So, whatever is the information which is used to link the consumer with the marketeer, this information also is used to identify and generate the different type of marketing opportunities and problems, because it picks up the information from the consumers and informs the marketers as to what exactly are the different type of opportunities which exactly are there. Then on the basis of that, they customize and create different type of marketing actions. Now this is also used to monitor the marketing performance and improve the understanding of the process of marketing. This is basic function of marketing research. Now, when we want to observe certain effects which exactly are happening in the marketplace, this is basically what marketing research does. So you must have seen that a lot of people there are many companies like ORG-Mark or Mart. These basically are doing the entire job is to get classified information and provide to the marketers, so that this information can be used by marketers in order to design their marketing strategies. And the purpose for this is to provide better products and services to the consumers, because consumers want to know what exactly the marketers are coming up with their different type of products and services in the context of solutions. Now, these solutions can best be designed by organizations when they actually do marketing research, because I told you the philosophy is a holistic marketing concept where we try to look at the actual value which the consumer derives from a specific type of a solution by the different type of products and services which are there by the marketeers. So, who does the marketing research? That's a basic question. Of course, marketing firms, they would be doing marketing research because they need that piece of information. Now, everyone at small firms, specifically in a big firm, of course, they've got a department called as the marketing research department, but in a specifically small firm, everybody engages in the purpose of marketing research. Also, there are certain type of customized syndicate services that, like for example, ORG-Mark that I told you, they basically are in the business of marketing research because they provide information at the demand of the marketeers, because the marketeers need information about the how exactly organizations are actually running the business and what type of products and services are actually going into it. Now, then there are certain type of marketing research firms which are there, and then specialty line marketing research. Now, research is conducted at small companies as well. Now, for example, when you'll be going for your summer training, you will be ending up doing marketing research for many of the organizations. In your internship training, in your summer training, when you'll be going at the end of your first semester, the second semester, you basically would be engaging in something called as marketing research. And here you would be finding different type of information for the organization in the context of your summer training problem. and you would be trying to, so basically organizations, they engage students, they engage professors, they use internet, they check out on rivals, they tap partner expertise, and they tap employee creativity also to do marketing research. Now, what exactly is the scope of marketing research? We want to know. They basically, one of the important scope is to overcome the barriers to the use of marketing research. So effectively, one of the barriers is many companies fail to use it sufficiently or correctly. That basically what they feel is that companies do not understand the capability and the importance this sort of a marketing research, actually the potential of marketing research per se, because they are not able to identify the actual problem definition. And when you fail to identify the problem definition, you will not be getting the right type of information. Uh, like for example, you are trying to look at, there are different type of mistakes which exactly have happened in past, where people have not been able to actually understand the potential of marketing research, and which has led to different type of losses. Like for example, one is involving this Star Wars movie. They basically did not fail to understand the potential of this category of segment. This was a historical mistake in the context of the uh, different type of mistakes which exactly happened when marketing research was exactly incorporated. So we actually follow a sequential pattern for doing this marketing research, and that is called as the steps of marketing research. And you would appreciate that the different type of steps involving with the first thing happens is defining the problem, that is the research objectives. What are the objectives? What exactly is it that we want to actually achieve? So that is decided as defining the problem. That is step number one. Second step is, in order to reach that problem, we have to make a plan. That is, we have to develop a research plan. On the basis of this research plan, we want to collect certain type of information. And on the basis of this information, when we analyze this information, we get certain outputs in the context of findings. We've got results, and these results are called as findings of the information. And on the basis of the findings, we try to solve the problem that we have identified as the research objectives, and this is called as making the decision. So when we're talking about the first step, that is defining the research problem, we first define the problem and look at the different decision alternatives. What are the different type of decision alternatives which are there? And then we define the research objectives. That is, what exactly is it that we want to do the research? Step 2 is all about deciding the research plan. Now here we try to see what are the different sources of data we use for doing this research plan. That is it going to be a primary data or the secondary data which exactly exists, or we have to find out the new data on the basis of which we are going to be taking this research plan. Also, we would be looking at the approaches. How do we go about it? Do we go for a survey research, behavioral research, the focus group research, or an observational research? Then what is actually the tools for getting the information? That is called as the research instruments. Are we going to design a questionnaire consisting of different items or questions? Or what will be the measures? Is it going to be a qualitative measure or a technological measure, qualitative or a quantitative measure? And what are the technological devices we are going to be using? Now, this is an example of a questionnaire. As you can see in the scale, you've got multiple choice questions, the different type of questions with different type of examples on the basis of which we want to. Like, for example, the question number, it's a dichotomous, is with two possible answers. Like, for example, are you engaged in the marketing management class? Are you taking up a marketing management class? Yes or no. There could be two answers for it, or a question with more than two answers. So effectively, these are the aspects which exactly are covered in the how to design the questionnaire, and there are many important elements to it. Then there are different type of quantitative, not only quantitative but qualitative measures also. These are some of the examples of some qualitative measures. This is a technological intervention. You see, we use certain technological devices in order to capture the data. Like for example, we use a camera and we try to look exactly at how the customer behaves. What exactly is the position of the eyeballs, eye tracking, facial detection, skin sensor, brainwave scanner, and then audiometer, GPS. All these things are certain technological devices we use to capture data. Now, many a times big data uses these different type of technological devices which exactly are used to map the behavior and the activity of the consumer without the knowledge of the consumer per se. So we also have some sort of a sampling plan. That is, whom do we actually go and survey? What is the sample size? How many people should we actually survey? And what exactly would be the sampling procedure? So how should we choose the respondent? Who would qualify as the respondent? That's also a very important aspect because unless the plan is there, we cannot actually find out the right person to seek information from. So, and what exactly should be the size of people from where we need to seek information, and who would qualify as the right person from who would consist of our sample for our representative population representation. Then how do we contact? Do we do mail or them, email them? Do we telephone them? Do we personally contact them and have a face-to-face interview, or we do it on an online basis? Now there are certain type of online mechanisms, like for example Survey Monkey and other things which exactly are available online, where you can take an online response per se as well. Then what is the advantages and disadvantages of an online research? Of course, an online research is very it's very cost effective. It saves a lot of time.
Then you can do a real-time data entry, and also it is very fast. Also, there are certain honest feedback, and also there are certain type of barriers which exactly are not there when you are interacting with the customer face to face. More versatile and a rich response to your questions.
But there are certain disadvantages. Like for example, you really don't know who's exactly answering. There could be certain technological problems. Like for example, you see in a class, there could be some sort of a breakage of the network, and that could create some sort of a technological inconsistency.
Muted again.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you're audible now. Yes, sir, yes, sir.
So I'll just quickly repeat uh, step 2, which happened to be the sampling plan, that is developing a research plan. Whom do we survey? How many people should be surveyed, and what would be the sampling procedure? How should we choose the respondents? That's an important aspect. Who would actually qualify to be the research? And then how do we go about developing this research plan? That is, how do we actually actuate it? Do we do it by mail, telephone? We interact the consumers personally and seek the responses, or we do it online? Then there are certain advantages and disadvantages of using an online method of survey. In the aspect of online research, of course, it is very fast, it is very economical, it is very expansive. You can reach out to anybody in the entire country or the world, because you need to just put a email, or you need to just reach out to them by any sort of a chat platform.
Or you can also have the responses very fast. You can also have the honest feedback, thoughtful and versatile as well. But when you're looking at certain type of disadvantages, technology can create some sort of a problem, because there can be so many different type of technological
Inconsistencies that could be there. People, they might find that this could be a very large number of people can come over, and that can create a problem for you. You cannot do according to your sampling plan. Also, it could be skewed. that it could be more positively biased or a negatively biased sort of a response.
or it could be pretty small. Now, so all these different type of disadvantages also are there in the context of online. Now, there are different type of softwares which exactly are already embedded in different type of
Platforms which exactly are designed to create, like Google has Google survey, and then there is something called as the Survey Monkey.
which exactly is also an online platform for gathering certain type of information. So the next three steps are collecting the information, analyzing them, presenting the findings, and making decisions.
Now, these are some of the aspects of what exactly a good marketing research should be all about. There are certain 7 characteristics that it should follow a scientific method. It should have a research amount of creativity must be there. Now, we're going to be using all of these when you are going for your summer training, and you'll be designing your questions for different organizations for solving their different type of problems, because they'll be using this different type of researches in order to primarily collect data from the market, and you would be assisting them in doing it. So then here comes in the aspects of what a good marketing research is all about and how do you actually go about it. You must understand that there is one important aspect which is called as ethical. Ethical marketing is also an important context of it. So you got to be very ethical.
You need to tell your customers what you're going to be using their information that you're drawing from. You should not hide certain type of information that you are extracting from them, because you got to be ethically sound as well, because people discount this keeping a very short-term perspective of their objective in mind,
because they feel that if they're going to give a lot of
information, people might not come up with actual data or actual information, but that is wrong. You need to tell the customer must be informed towards the information that you are actually gathering from them.
So ethical consideration is also a very important aspect when you are trying to elicit any sort of an information from marketing for marketing research. Then we look into different type of marketing metrics towards measuring the marketing productivity. We try to create a marketing mix model, and of course we have the marketing dashboard. When you're talking about metrics, that is marketing metrics, we measure the different type of information which helps marketeer actually quantify, compare, and interpret the performance that they're having. Like for example, there can be certain type of external and internal metrics per se. Now I'll be just doing a small amount of caselet here, wherein I'll be telling you how exactly marketing research actually functions. Now there's a company called Venus Razors. Now Venus Razors, as a part of a $300 million budget for the department for its first razor design, now solely for women. Now Gillette conducted extensive marketing research and performed numerous marketing tests. The razor called Venus was marked departure from the previous women's
razor design, which had essentially been colored or repackaged version of the men's razor. Now, after research, it revealed that women changed their grip of the razor around 30 times during each shaving session. So these are the information that they're basically drawing from the different type of marketing research in order to customize the product that they are going to actually create for the different type of consumers. So after research, it was revealed that women changed their grip on the razor about 30 times during each shaving session. Gillette designed the Venus with a wide sculpted rubber handle offering superior grip and control. Now this is an oval shaped blade in a storage case that could stick to the shower walls. Research also indicates that women were reluctant to leave the shower in order to replace a dull blade. So the case was made to hold the spare cartridge blade. When this Gillette research later revealed 4 distinct segments of women shavers: perfect shavers, sieving, no missed hairs, then skin pamperers,
pragmatic functionalists, and easy seekers. The company designed Venus products for each of them. So you see, when you actually are designing any sort of a product for any sort of a consumer, you have to keep the consumer in the center of the product design. Now, how would you keep the consumer in the center of the product design? Only by seeking information from them about the different type of solutions that you're going to offer in terms of the problems that they have. Now, this sort of a solution is actually a value addition for the different type of products and services, and these products and services in the context of the value addition will only come from marketing research. This information will come from marketing research. So we've got different type of marketing research which exactly is actually carried about in different type of organizations per se. So I would also be looking at that there are certain things that go into the mind of the consumers when they are trying to actually buy a product. So this is actually a Harvard Business School, Professor Gerald Zaltman. He, along with some of his research colleagues, they developed an in-depth methodology to uncover what exactly goes into the minds when we are designing about the different type of goods and services.
So they have come up with about 7 dimensions. The first is called as balance. That is, it is all about equilibrium and the interplay of elements that goes into the mind of a consumer when they're deciding to buy a product or a
service. The second is transformation, that is changes in substance and circumstances. The third happens to be the journey, that is the meeting of past, present, and future. Fourth happens to be the container, which exactly is inclusive, exclusive, or the other boundaries. Fifth happens to be the connection, that is the need to relate to oneself or the others. That is the type of relationship that you can develop towards using of a product with related with others. That is when you look at how many people are actually using the product, you exactly have an affiliation or a sort of a community feel for the product or the brand. Then you have resource acquisition and their consequences. How much amount of cost you are incurring in getting hold of that product. And then finally, the seventh is control, the sense of mastery, vulnerability, and well-being. How well do you know your product, or how vulnerable you are towards your product? Now, all these are taken in the context of gathering different type of information from consumers towards deciding the type of things that they actually are looking for in products and services. Then we've got a different type of marketing mix models. Towards the marketing dashboard, we're looking at both from the customer's perspective as well as from the stakeholders' perspective of the stakeholders. And then this is actually a customized model marketing dashboard, which exactly is there. So effectively, today we wanted to discuss about the stages in marketing research, which exactly is a very important take home from this entire discussion that we have. And these stages of a marketing research are very important, and you should try to look at it once again. We will try to, so these happen to be the different stages of marketing research per se, and you can just look at it. That is, the first stage is towards defining the problem and research objective. The second happens to be developing the research plan. That is what exactly would be the research plan. Third happens to be collecting the information, the type of information that you require from the marketing research. The fourth happens to be how do you analyze the information that you have already collected. And fifth is how do you incorporate it in terms of findings to address the problem that has been generated in stage one. And then what is the decision that you are taking on the basis of the information that you have actually collated from the in the context of the research problem that you have identified. So it completes the entire circle of the information that you have gathered for the marketing research in terms of the objectives, the plan that you have drawn, the information that you have collected, the information that you have analyzed, how you have presented the finding, and the decision that you have actually made. So these happen to be the different steps for the marketing research process. Now, different people have been doing about a different type of research. Now, rural marketing happens to be a very big area. Yes, Arma, you're raising your hand. You want to make a point?
Yes, sir. So you mentioned about certain organizations which are concerned with market research itself. So my question is that there are certain organizations such as WGSN and Pantone which actually forecast the trends for future. So would they be also considered as organizations which are concerned with market research?
Yes, basically, marketing research is a very, very big market industry now. And you have got Time Survey, you have got ORG Mark, you've got all the different organizations that you talked about. They all constitute as a component of the marketing research. You must understand that marketing research not only is catering to the organizations, but also into different type of marketing analytics as well as the advertising agencies also. They also categorize and develop a lot of information by the use of these different research syndicates, which exactly you have talked about. So yes, they would be classified as different components of marketing research. I would have given you the entire data about the size of the industry that is there, but I think you can just Google it about the size of marketing research industry, which exactly is there, which exactly is operating now. Like for example, if you're looking at, there's a company called MART, Marketing and Research Team. This is actually specialized in conducting rural marketing research. So marketing research is not only categorized on only one dimension, but even segment also wise, it has been categorized. Now, this realizes the limitation of conventional rating scale. So, when you're taking in the information from the rural segment, you cannot ask them quantitative or specified or a culture, because they have got a limitation in terms of the language or the amount of knowledge or education. So, you've got to use emojis. You got these emojis in order to calculate their behavior. So effectively, appropriate marketing research tools have been developed in order to cater that. So this is a company that basically caters to that. So yes, there are different number of organizations which are there, which are catering to different segments of marketing research. I hope I'm answered.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So I think we've got enough time for the session today. I will be winding up now. If you have any sort of a query or an input, feel free to ask me. Else, we will be just calling off, because we've got a meeting of the faculty at 11. So I think I'll just be taking leave. It's about 10:30, and we're done with the class for today. In case if there is any other sort of comment or input that you want to share, feel free. Else, we'll be continuing with the session in the next class, which happens to be on Monday. Okay. Yes, Anam.
Sir, I just wanted to ask you, whatever research plan we'll be developing, our information will be collected accordingly, na?
Right. Information has to be collected on the basis of your research plan. Generally, what happens is people, they first collect information, then they decide on the research plan. But that is putting the horse in the cart in front of the horse. That is not how it should be. Rather, you should that is why this research process has to be a sequential, organized step. That is, you have to have the objective decided first, then you create a plan on that, and then you collect information. Okay. So
Okay.
that
Sir,
exactly
for
has to be
example,
the sequence.
yes, sir. For example, like if I decided in my research plan that I'll do a questionnaire regarding a certain research project, so I'll be collecting information according to that questionnaire, right?
That's perfectly true. Questionnaire happens to be the tool on the base you will be using for collecting that information, but you have to do some sort of a background research in the context of what type of information that you exactly are going to collect. Only when you have a clear picture of the information you want to extract, then from whom are you going to extract this information? That also has to be very, very clearly defined. Who would qualify to be your prospective consumer who's going to give you the information? Because asking the right question to the wrong set of people is also not going to serve the interest. So you have to have your plan in place. as you rightly said.
Okay,
So questionnaire happens to be just a tool in order to get the information.
Yes, sir. Okay, thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Thank you very much. Anyone else with any other query at this perspective, or else we can always revisit this